Once upon a time, in a peaceful village named Sunnyvale, there lived a curious little girl named Maggie. With her bright, sparkling blue eyes and a wild mane of curly brown hair, Maggie was known throughout the village for her adventurous spirit and insatiable curiosity. Every day after school, she would explore the fields, climb trees, and discover new paths hidden within the lush green woods surrounding her home. One sunny afternoon, while wandering deeper into the woods than she ever had before, Maggie stumbled upon a hidden path, overgrown with vines and colorful wildflowers. Her heart raced with excitement as she stepped onto the path, eager to see where it would lead. The vibrant flowers seemed to sway and whisper, inviting her further into the unknown. As she walked along the winding trail, Maggie soon found herself in front of an old, wrought iron gate, covered in ivy and surrounded by towering sunflowers that seemed to be watching her. A sign hung from the gate, swaying gently in the breeze, reading, "Welcome to the secret garden of whimsical wonders." With a deep breath, Maggie pushed the gate open, which creaked loudly as if it hadn't been opened in years. On the other side was a breathtaking garden, unlike anything she had ever seen. It was filled with trees that sparkled like diamonds, flowers that sang melodious tunes, and bushes that changed colors with every passing moment. There were magical creatures frolicking about, fairies with shimmering wings, rabbits in tiny waistcoats, and even a wise old tortoise wearing glasses perched on the end of his nose. "Hello there," called a cheerful voice. Maggie turned to see a tiny fairy fluttering in front of her, her wings glistening in the sunlight. "I'm Felicity, the guardian of this garden. We've been waiting for someone as special as you to find us." Maggie's eyes widened in delight. "Waiting for me? What do you mean?" Felicity twirled in the air, leaving a trail of sparkling dust behind her. "This garden only reveals itself to those who truly believe in magic and adventure. We have many wonders to share with you. Would you like to join us on a journey?" Without hesitation, Maggie nodded enthusiastically. Felicity led her through the garden, introducing her to the enchanting inhabitants. Each area of the garden had its own unique theme. There was a rainbow meadow where flowers bloomed in every color imaginable, and each petal shimmered like a gemstone. In the bubble forest, trees grew giant bubbles instead of fruit, and they floated gently into the sky, bursting into colorful confetti. As they ventured further, they arrived at the Whispering Woods, where the trees had faces and could speak. "Welcome, dear Maggie," said an ancient oak tree with deep, wise eyes. "We've heard of your bravery and kindness. Would you help us solve a riddle to save our home?" Maggie's heart raced. "Of course, what's the riddle?" The oak tree's leaves rustled as it recited. "In the morning I shine bright. At noon I bring warmth and light. But in the night I disappear. What am I? Solve and have no fear." Maggie thought for a moment, remembering how the sun rose each day, shining brightly in the sky. "It's the sun," she exclaimed. "Correct," the oak tree replied, its branches swaying with joy. "As a reward, we shall grant you one wish." Maggie pondered, wanting to do something special. "I wish for everyone in my village to experience the wonders of this garden." The trees erupted in applause, and Felicity clapped her tiny hands in excitement. "A wonderful wish. We shall make it so." With a wave of her wand, Felicity summoned the magical creatures, and they flew off to Sunnyvale, where they sprinkled stardust throughout the village. Soon, colorful flowers bloomed in every yard, and laughter echoed through the streets as the villagers marveled at the transformation. The next day, as the sun rose over Sunnyvale, everyone awoke to a world filled with vibrant colors and delightful surprises. Children danced in the streets, chasing after bubbles that floated down from the sky, while adults reveled in the beauty of their transformed homes. News of the magical garden spread like wildfire, and soon villagers began sharing their own stories of adventure and imagination. But Maggie knew she had to return to the garden. She wanted to thank Felicity and her friends for their gift. So after school, she made her way back to the hidden path, excited to tell her new friends about the happiness they had brought to her village. When she arrived at the garden, Felicity greeted her with a warm smile. "Welcome back, dear Maggie. You've brought so much joy to your village, and now it's time for a new adventure." "What kind of adventure?" Maggie asked, her curiosity piqued. "We need your help to prepare for the Great Garden Festival. It's a celebration that happens once a year, and we need a brave heart like yours to gather ingredients for our magical feast," Felicity explained. Maggie's eyes sparkled with excitement. "I'd love to help. What do we need?" Felicity fluttered her wings and explained that they needed to gather 3 magical ingredients: singing petals from the rainbow meadow, giggleberries from the bubble forest, and moonlight dewdrops from the whispering woods. Maggie jumped at the challenge. With Felicity by her side, they set off on their quest. In the rainbow meadow, they danced among the flowers, collecting petals that sang sweet melodies. Each petal they picked filled the air with laughter and joy, and Maggie felt her heart swell with happiness. Next, they ventured into the bubble forest. Here, Maggie had the time of her life. She bounced on giant bubbles, trying to catch giggleberries that giggled and bounced away from her grasp. With a little creativity, she created a game, and the fairies joined in, turning the hunt into a fun-filled party. Together, they caught the giggleberries, their laughter echoing through the forest. Finally, they entered the whispering woods, where the trees guided them to a shimmering pool. Under the glow of the moonlight, they carefully collected dewdrops, each one glimmering like a tiny star. The trees whispered their gratitude, and Maggie felt a sense of accomplishment wash over her. With all the ingredients gathered, Maggie and Felicity returned to the heart of the garden. The magical creatures had already begun setting up for the festival, decorating with glowing lanterns and colorful ribbons. As the sun began to set, the great garden festival came to life. Laughter and music filled the air as creatures danced under the stars. They feasted on delicious treats made from the magical ingredients Maggie had gathered, and she felt a sense of joy in her heart, knowing she had helped create such a wonderful celebration. At the height of the festival, Felicity called everyone's attention. "Tonight, we celebrate not just the magic of our garden, but the magic of friendship and courage that brought us all together." Maggie beamed with pride as the creatures cheered. She had found not just a magical garden, but a family of friends who would always be there for her. As the night went on, Maggie realized that her adventures didn't have to end. She could carry the magic of the secret garden back to her village, sharing the joy, courage, and love she had found. The villagers would always remember the day their ordinary lives were filled with wonder, and Maggie knew she had made a difference. When it was time to leave, Felicity gave Maggie a small, sparkling flower. "Keep this close to you, and whenever you need us, just wish upon it, and we will come to your side." Maggie promised to return to the garden, and with a heart full of memories and new friendships, she left the secret garden of whimsical wonders, knowing she could always find magic wherever she went. From that day on, Maggie spread tales of adventure and courage throughout Sunnyvale. With each story she told, she inspired others to explore their own dreams, creating a ripple of wonder that would last for generations. And so, the spirit of the secret garden lived on in Maggie and her village, reminding everyone that magic is real, waiting to be discovered by those brave enough to seek it. As the weeks went by, Maggie became the storyteller of Sunnyvale. Each evening, children would gather around her in the village square, their eyes wide with anticipation as she recounted her adventures in the secret garden. Her stories of magical creatures, sparkling flowers, and the enchanted festival ignited imaginations, and soon the village was transformed. Inspired by Maggie's tales, the children formed their own club called the Sunnyvale Adventurers, dedicated to exploring the world around them. Together, they planted gardens in their backyards, filled with vibrant flowers, and constructed makeshift forts to create their own secret hideaways. They would often set out on expeditions, searching for hidden treasures in the woods and fields, always on the lookout for magical surprises. Maggie's heart swelled with pride as she watched her friends embrace the spirit of adventure. She knew that the magic of the secret garden was not just in the garden itself, but in the friendships and bonds they formed along the way. One bright Saturday morning, as the sun bathed the village in golden light, Maggie gathered her friends for a special adventure. "Today we're going to recreate the Great Garden Festival right here in Sunnyvale," she announced, her eyes sparkling with excitement. The children cheered, each eager to contribute their ideas. They spent the entire day preparing for the festival. Each child was assigned a task. Some picked wildflowers, others crafted decorations from colorful paper, and a few were in charge of making delicious snacks using berries and fruits they had gathered. As the sun began to set, the village square transformed into a magical scene. Lanterns hung from trees, casting a warm glow, while the laughter and excitement of the children filled the air. Maggie looked around and felt a rush of joy. She could see the spirit of the secret garden reflected in each of their smiling faces. With everything ready, Maggie stood at the center of the square and clapped her hands to gather everyone's attention. "Welcome to our very own Great Garden Festival," she exclaimed, her voice ringing with enthusiasm. "Let's celebrate friendship, courage, and all the magic we've created together." The festivities kicked off with games, including a bubble-blowing contest inspired by the bubble forest. Children chased after floating bubbles, their laughter mingling with the soft evening breeze. They also set up a treasure hunt, searching for special tokens hidden throughout the square, each representing a unique magical creature from Maggie's stories. As the night deepened, they gathered around a makeshift stage for storytelling. Maggie took center stage, recounting her adventure in the secret garden, emphasizing the importance of courage, kindness, and believing in magic. The children listened intently, their eyes wide with wonder as they imagined themselves alongside her in the enchanted world. At the end of the story, Maggie surprised her friends. "Now we have a special guest joining us tonight." She waved her hands dramatically, and to everyone's astonishment, a flurry of sparkling lights swirled around the square. The lights settled, revealing Felicity and her fairy friends, hovering gracefully above the crowd. "Thank you for inviting us to your festival," Felicity chimed, her voice sweet and melodic. "Your joy and friendship have traveled far, and we are delighted to join you in your celebration." The villagers gasped in amazement as the fairies danced through the air, leaving trails of shimmering dust behind them. Felicity waved her wand, and colorful flowers began to bloom around the square, transforming the ordinary into the extraordinary. Maggie's heart soared. She had brought the magic of the secret garden to her village, uniting everyone in a celebration of friendship and wonder. After a night of games, laughter, and dancing, the festival reached its peak with a grand feast. Tables were filled with delicious treats, all made from the ingredients Maggie and her friends had gathered from the garden. Everyone shared stories and enjoyed each other's company, creating memories that would last a lifetime. As the evening came to a close, Felicity gathered the children and said, "Tonight, you've shown us all the power of friendship and imagination. Remember, the magic of the garden is within you. Whenever you need us, just believe, and we will always be here." Maggie held the sparkling flower Felicity had given her tightly in her hand, knowing it symbolized the bond they had formed. "Thank you for sharing your magic with us," she replied earnestly. "We will always cherish this night and the adventures we share together." With a gentle wave, Felicity and the fairies floated into the sky, leaving a cascade of sparkles behind them. The children waved goodbye, their hearts filled with joy and wonder. As the stars twinkled brightly overhead, Maggie felt a sense of fulfillment wash over her. She had discovered that true magic lies not just in mystical gardens or enchanting creatures, but in the friendships, love, and kindness we share with one another. From that day on, the Sunnyvale adventurers continued to explore and create their own magical moments, inspired by Maggie's adventures. They learned that every day held the potential for discovery, and that their village was a world filled with beauty and wonder, just waiting to be explored. And so, in the little village of Sunnyvale, the spirit of the secret garden thrived, turning ordinary days into extraordinary adventures, and the magic of friendship blossomed forevermore.